Hi, Eric Notke, talking about digital online presence and such. In video log 2, there's a little construction outside of my window, so forgive me if there's some noise. Hopefully, it won't be too bad. So, the first thing I want to say, which speaks right to the first question, is how is your digital identity different from your real world self and how it's the same? Um, I consider myself to be very lucky in that I'm a generation that is kind of straddling the technological line. I did not grow up with the internet or cell phones or any of that, uh, but I've been able to benefit from it as it's gotten further along. But I think that I've also been able to keep a more real presence, a more physical presence, and not rely on it in quite the same way that others have. Um, Abba Dawasar, I hope I'm saying that right. Um, that's interesting, especially the story she has about being in New York during the blackout. Um, when those times come where there just isn't power, or there isn't that, I don't feel necessarily cut off. I don't feel like I've lost control of my life, or any of those things. I think mostly because I have very clear recollections of losing power as a kid, and there's not anything. You got a candle in a book, and I'm comfortable with that. So I think I'm lucky in that aspect. I think many of us are, that we're able to kind of turn off that need for technology just because we have the background and the experience of doing that. Expressing myself with technology. One of the things that has helped me do that is the advent of home recording. I play music, and the fact that we can now do multi-track recording with effects and all these studio things that you could only ever get in a studio before, you can do it at home now, has really helped me take my hobby to a place that's very fun and very exciting, actually. Um, Technology governing and influencing my identity. It influences certainly and governs my work identity. I work at a business where we have two distinct offices. One is in Williamstown, Massachusetts, where I am, and another in New York City. So all of our work is done via Google Docs and Google Drive and Dropbox and all those kinds of things. So um, all of the work that I do with designers before they come up and work at our theater, they are mostly in New York. So I have to deal with them at a lot of Skype calls, video chats, things like that. So my work identity is very wrapped up in that particular technology, but as is my home life as well. My wife and daughter and I all text each other all the time. It's easier and quicker sometimes, certainly, than making a phone call. We use technology. We use a thing called Wunderlist to do um, grocery lists, grocery shopping stuff. So any one of us can add something to the list that needs to be picked up, and we can take it off the list when we do pick it up. So um, we do use it. I do use it in that way as well. My digital identity is a product of the social and technological context in which I live. Obviously, work-wise, as I spoke. Also, Williamstown is somewhat rural, although it's a very culturally rich area. It's still very rural. So the fact that I live where I live, and I know a lot of my work is taking me around the country quite a bit. Um, so I know a lot of people in a lot of different places. So I used Facebook primarily as a way to connect with people that I haven't seen in a while, or that I'm just physically away from. So that certainly is a part of it. I absolutely fall prey to Sherry Turkle's Goldilocks effect. Um, while I don't think of myself as a curmudgeon or antisocial or anything like that, um, I'm not the most comfortable person in a cocktail party or in a social setting. So the idea of being able to control how much contact and for how long I have with people is really something that is appealing to me. So I definitely fall prey. I definitely fall prey to that. Um, I don't feel like my online identity is a performance, but I'm sure it is. Right now is a great example. I know that people will be watching this, so I am a mumbler, or I will talk too fast. So I'm definitely taking time or trying to take time to enunciate and be very clear with what I'm saying. So it is a performance in that aspect. And it is different when I'm in public or I know it's going to be public. I would like to say that if I post something on Facebook, it wouldn't be any different than what I would say in person, but I don't think that's true. I probably swear less on Facebook than I do in real life, and I also am paying much more attention to things like grammar and sentence construction, which of course I should be doing all the time anyway, but I don't. And I think that goes to how my digital identity affects my sense of who I am as a person. I think all of those things are essentially saying that I want people to see me as intelligent, probably more intelligent than I am. So I think that I am taking the time in my digital life to come off as smart, and I think that sometimes feels like it's what I'm doing and it's more important than coming off as honest. Although I don't feel that I'm dishonest about it, I certainly think that I'm trying to come off smarter than I am. So I feel like I have a good balance. Since I keep saying this, is probably not true, but I feel like I have a good balance between using the technology as it's presented and not using it when I don't have it. I don't feel particularly cut off if I don't have it. So I feel like I've got a nice balance. But we'll see.